Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Mama Genius Hub podcast. If this is you, you've built this business for freedom. So why does it feel like a trap right now? You're the CEO. You're also the assistant, the tech support, the content creator, the scheduler. And somewhere in there, you're also a mom trying to show up fully. You're not lazy. You're exhausted. What if the real issue isn't you? What if you've simply outgrown it doing it all yourself? Kate Lennon has helped hundreds of women hire support that actually fits, not just checking off the boxes, but aligning with your energy, your values, and your life. In this episode, she's going to help you start letting go strategically and soulfully so you can help build a business that has finally felt like yours. Mamas, welcome to the Mama Genius Mompreneur podcast, where real stories spark real transformations for moms ready to bring their vision to life. I'm Michelle DeKaiser, a mom of three, entrepreneur, and your biggest cheerleader if you've ever felt pulled to create something bigger, whether it's a business, a book, or a movement, but also felt the weight of daily life slowing you down. You are not alone. In just 15 minutes, we'll dive into insights, strategies, and real stories for women like you. Let's bring your visions to life, starting now. Kate Lenihan, the founder of Rising Hire Consulting, is hiring and delegating consultant for women in business. You got to admit, we need that because we do it a little bit differently. With over decades of experience in online marketing, including work with Amy Porterfield and Sue B. Zimmerman and the top VA agencies, Kate specializes in helping overwhelmed solopreneurs make their first successful hire. Who needs that? Her signature pro Hire Rise roadmap blends step-by-step strategy with deep emotional intelligence, helping women gain 10 plus hours per week and reconnect with their purpose behind their work. I am so excited to have you on board today, Kate. The universe gives you what you need because I felt like I needed this message as well today.
Yes, thank you so much, Michelle. It's such an honor to be here in front of all these mamas. I'm a mama myself too. I got two tweens, or one teen and one tween.
You're just talking about our ages are pretty similar too. And I have these notions of your why behind mine. First of all, just as women, we struggle with that letting go, that delegation. And for me, it's just like that structure, like we were talking about that organization, but I really want to know, what is your why behind creating this?
My why is really allowing and empowering women to fully step into their genius. Women who create businesses are a special kind of woman. And you start your business because you're passionate about something. You want to serve or impact others. And when you are able to fully step into that and step into your genius, step into your passion, instead of getting lost in the weeds of the accounting, tech, and funnels and all the other things that you didn't start your business for, that's when the magic happens. That's when the growth happens. That's when the impact happens.
I feel like that was a mic drop because it's so true. Like, you're in the weeds. And part of what I'm saying with the Mama Genius is really connecting with that intuition. It's like you get to hear all the noise of every step you need to do. But in between that, you need to connect with your learnings and what serves you to move forward. I love how you put the soulful in the way that you're not just hiring someone to check off the boxes. I'd love for you to tell us a little bit more about that process.
Yes. So many times I've seen solopreneurs hire just because somebody can do the thing. And the problem with that becomes the person isn't aligned with your business, your culture, how you serve, how you show up for your clients. And that makes a big difference. You want an assistant who's going to be an extension of you, not necessarily somebody who's going to do it exactly the same way you will do it, but somebody who is going to say, you know what, I see what you've done and I want to build on that. I want to create more from that. I want to bring more consistency to that. Whatever that kind of fill in the blank is, right? Creating space for somebody to embody who you are, how you serve, what your values are, so that your customers still feel that same kind of support and alignment.
Wow. That's really where I've been at is also like, I really want the, like, who I hire to like be part of the community. I don't want it just to be, oh, you're hiring a VA. That's been my thinking as well. However, I've been struggling with that. So I'd love for you to tell us how to get started with doing that.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things. When you say you want somebody who's aligned with you, that's the whole platform, right? Because you're going to spend so much time with this virtual assistant. You're trusting them with your business. And so you want to enjoy their company and not just have somebody who's like, yep, I'll do the thing. And so, how to get started with that? There's a couple of ways that you can get started in a way that doesn't feel like you're giving up the parts of your business that you love. I had a client once who was like, she was a huge influencer. She had thousands upon thousands of followers, but she wanted to be in her direct messages on social media. We were like, okay, we're not going to take that from you. Is it the best you do for your time? No, but it allows you to feel connected to your audience, and it felt authentic and genuine for her. So she kept it. To get started with understanding what it is you need in your business is just just starting with a time and task audit. That's how I love to start things off with my client. What is your time going towards every single day? This doesn't need to be some crazy drawn out process that becomes another thing on your to do list. Doing a time and task audit is like, oh, okay, I had to fix my tech funnel, and that took me 45 minutes instead of the 15 I thought it was going to take me. Or I had to schedule content for social media. And that took me an hour and a half because it's hard to get the caption going or the hook or the edit the reel or whatever it is. And that took me 2 hours instead of the 20 that I allocated for it. So really starting to audit where your time is going and what it's doing to your energy. That's another big piece of this is like, what do you find yourself procrastinating on? Because that sometimes is a hint as to what you shouldn't be spending your time on because it overwhelms you or it stresses you out or you don't know how to do it.
Well, as you were talking about that, one of the things for me that I can feel in my body is I don't mind making any of the social media posts, but the physical practicality of actually taking that post and putting onto a scheduler or actually posting it, for some reason in me, it just becomes like, I can do it, but it's like this like really hard push that like just something that like just in me like you don't want to do that. And those, as you're saying that, as we're talking about this, I was like, as women, what are some of those things where you can do it, but it becomes that arduous task? What are those for you, right? Is that what we're getting at?
Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should, right? Like I often find myself saying, sure, I know enough to be dangerous of that, whether it's a home improvement project or something online, right? With like a tech funnel. Like, could I do it? Sure. Is it going to take me 3 times longer than if I hire somebody? And then assigning a value to that. So when you think about the clients that you serve, if there is something where you're like, I know my hourly rate is $20 an hour. And I'm just throwing that out there for simple calculations because I am not a math person. So if you charge $20 an hour and it's going to take you 3 hours, but it's going to take a tech professional 1 hour, what's worth it, right? Is that investment to pay that person worth it? That frees up 2 hours of your time to take on another client, coach somebody else, get on a sales call, whatever it opens your schedule up for, it frees not only your time, but your earning potential.
And we'll be back in just a minute to dive into even more tips on how to free up more time. That's a wrap for today's episode, Mama. Are you a mompreneur who feels a fire to create something bigger, a business, a movement, a message, but you don't want to do it alone? That's why I've created the Mama Genius Hub, a space where your vision is nurtured, your voice is heard, and your dreams grow alongside a supportive community. Inside the hub, you'll get bite-sized insights and strategies in 15-minute sessions. A community of like-minded moms who truly get it. Support to bring your vision to life without burnout. If ready to build your business and impact while staying true to yourself, join us today at connectingmamas.com. Your calling matters. Let's grow it together. Oh, that was too funny. I've never pushed that many buttons in one time. But you know what? We're moms. We just keep moving forward.
That's it, right? Imperfect action is still action.
And then it just makes us laugh. So I want to throw that out to you, business owners. And actually, I'm going to leave this in the edit. I'm not going to delete this because it happens, right? And that's when we just keep moving forward. And that's why Kate's even here is how do we get some of that time back? How do we do some of those things? But it's also taking that imperfection action in the first place. Mm-hmm. And so Let's dive down to imperfect action in hiring a little bit more. Even before we came onto the episode, we were talking a little bit about systems. And that's a lot of times where women fall, is putting those into place, because you hire someone that may go wrong and then you hire someone else and you're starting all over again. So where do we start with creating some of those systems, since we have the expert here?
Thank you. It's something that I work closely with my clients on. And I also think that it's a big misconception is you have to have all your systems perfectly polished before you're ready to hire. And that couldn't be further from the truth. I think the biggest piece about systems is just writing down or recording your existing process. There's a great Chrome extension called Loom, Loom. If you haven't used it, it allows you to record your screen. It allows you to talk through a process. I love Loom, especially for documenting processes. Now, create the process as you do it right now. And then you have something simple to hand off to a virtual assistant, somebody who's more of an expert. They have the freedom to say, okay, this can be more efficient. This is where we can dial it in. This is how we can improve it. These processes, as you build them with your new teammate, allow your business to be more consistent in terms of a customer experience and delivering to clients. It allows it to be more consistent behind the scenes, less mistakes because you've got a simple checklist you're following. Doesn't need to be some huge 47-page playbook that some of these productivity books tell you need. Simple is often better, and it gives you a foundation to start from. So I say take out Loom, jot it down in your notes app, on a Google Doc, whatever it is, have a couple of little check boxes and add to it as the process becomes more fleshed out.
Just before we run out of time, like for a mom who's just thinking about processes and things, what do you think are the best processes to start in place? Since you've worked with a whole bunch of entrepreneurs, from your expertise, where's the best place to start processing things?
I think the first place to start is a calendar, right? So when you're a mom and a business owner, getting clear on what an ideal week looks like for you. I did not coin ideal week. I think it was Michael Hyatt who coined ideal week, but understanding first, what are the non-negotiables on your calendar? And that's maybe kids, doctor's appointments, personal and family, because you're trying to be present as a mom. And then maybe it's segmenting out, okay, I know I only want to take client calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Mondays and Fridays are left for ramping up to the week, and Fridays are for overflow. And then the other days you're fitting in content creation, things like that. So really getting clear on what you want your calendar to look like when it's operating optimally. The second process I say is a non-negotiable is emails. I love to create a process for emails. Number one, create simple templates to answer people, to really figure out what gets deleted, what needs to get done, and what you could potentially delegate in your inbox. Again, I didn't coin do delegate delete, but it's a fabulous pillar to really run by.
Do delegate delete, right?
Yep.
Tell everyone how they can get a hold of you, and if you do have a free gift or anything for the audience.
You can find me on Instagram, Rise Hire, but hire as in Hire, Rise Hire Consulting on Instagram, on Facebook, and Kate Lenihan on LinkedIn. I do have a free gift. We have a hiring quiz. I think Michelle is going to link to it in the show notes. But just to tell you if you're ready to hire and where you should be focusing.
I think I'll need that. We're going to put you backstage for just a moment to go away. Wonderful takeaways from today.
Thank you.
I don't even know where to start, but really, it really is, though, is number one, is really thinking about who's going to align with you. Let's change the question of how we are going to hire, not just someone who can do the tasks. And sometimes that happens with Fiverr or things where we end up down the weeds of something, but really taking that time to align with you. And then that leads us into number two, which is really doing that time and task audit to look at where your time is going and how your body's feeling when you're doing certain tasks. If your body's not agreeing with it, maybe those are tasks you first figure out how to delegate to someone else. And then that leads to number three, actually assigning value to those tasks. When can you hire out that task to someone else to free up more time for you, and really creating that value inside of there. And that leads us to number four, writing down those systems using Loom, really making those systems as you're creating them. Just start with where you're at and then passing on to someone else to make changes and things to make it more efficient when it's out of your mind, right? When other people can see the outside and how it can be done a little bit differently. And then number 5, she gave us 2 great things to start with: that calendar system to figure out that ideal week, and emails of do, delegate, and delete. And I'd love to bring Kate back up for her final takeaway as I went really, really fast.
My final takeaway, the thing that I think is really important for mompreneurs, mama geniuspreneurs to understand is don't fall into the trap of I'm the only one who can do it, because that's when you're going to stay stuck in your business. If you want to grow your impact, visibility, and how you're serving others, don't fall into the trap of I'm the only one who can do it. Ask for the help, get the help that you deserve so that you can return to your zone of genius and what you're passionate, what you started your business with.
I'm going to add on to that challenge and say, take that to your household too, with your kids and your husband and your friends and people around you, and just to start imperfectly moving forward instead of always feeling like we have to do it the Pinterest perfect mom way. On that note, thank you, Kate. We'll see you all in the next episode, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Michelle.
That's a wrap for today's episode, Mama. I hope you found something in these 15 minutes that sparked action towards your dreams. Remember, your purpose matters, your dreams are valid, and you are not alone. If today's conversation spoke to you, come join us at the Mama Genius Hub, where you'll find support, strategy, and sisterhood to turn your calling into real impact. Let's grow this together at connectingmamas.com. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. If this resonates with you, share it with another mom who needs to hear this. We'll see you next time.